Hello students, good morning and welcome to our 36th video lecture of physics. Now in last two lectures we have discussed a method how to find the diameter of oleic acid, molecules of oleic acid, right? And in last video lecture we have discussed some interesting concept about the measurement of mass and time, right? Apart from our textbook we have discussed some extra thing that the unit of mass was initially grave, how that grave came into existence, what is its definition, then we have converted into we have changed that grave into gram, and now the SI unit is kilogram, right? The only one unit which has a prefix kilo, that is 10⁻³ gram. We have discussed the reason behind it, right? Now in this lecture we are going to discuss another interesting and important topic, which is accuracy and precision and errors in measurement. Right, so our today's topic will be accuracy, precision and errors in measurement, right? Now measurement is the foundation of all the experimental science and technology. Means whatever experiment we are going to perform, in that measurement plays an important role, right? Each and every experiment contains some kind of measurement, some kind of calculations, you can say that, right? Now the result of this measurement by a measuring instrument will always have an uncertainty in it. The result of this experimental measurement by a measuring instrument will always have an uncertainty in it, right? And this uncertainty in the measurement is known as error. We are going to discuss this in detail, but just now remember what is an error. The uncertainty in the measurement of any physical quantity, right, is known as error. Now what do you mean by uncertainty in the measurement? Let us understand this by taking a suitable example. Say for example, if you want to measure the length of this pen, then obviously we are going to use measuring instrument like a scale. Let us say we will measure the length of this pen using a scale. So if I will draw a scale over here, let us say this is our scale, where somewhere over here we have measurement 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let us say this is 5. Now, the length of this pen, if you can see here, let us say the length of this pen, somewhere here we get the length of the pen, right? Origin is one end is at point O, while the other end is here. Now if you measure this length, you will find that you can say that the length of this pen is 5 cm. But if you see it closely, right, if we magnify this, then somewhere here we will have 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is our 4.5. So if you see properly, if you magnify that, you will find that the length of the other end of the pen is somewhere below 5. Right? It is between 4.9 and 5. We have already discussed that the minimum measurement that an instrument can measure is known as its least count, and the least count of scale is 0.1 cm. It means it cannot measure a distance less than 0.1 cm. Right? So if this is 4.9 and this is 5, so either with the help of this scale you can write 4.9 or 5. You cannot write the value in between this, right? So by using a scale you will not get an appropriate answer, right? You will not get an exact value because it is 4.9, but something more is there, right? No, it is less than 5, so you can say that it is 4.9. But apart from 4.9, there is some another length also of this pen. You can see easily that here we have some length of the pen which is to be measured here, because till this distance we have 4.9. So this is an uncertainty in the measurement of pen by using a scale. Suppose we take another appropriate instrument in which the least count is more. Let us say instead of having here only 10 division between 3 and 4. Let us make 20 division between 3 and 4. Now how to find least count of a scale? Let us discuss that first. How to find least count of a scale? What you have to do? Difference of these two measured value, right? Difference of any two values on the measuring instrument, that is, let us say 4 and 3. So you will write 4 minus 3 divide by the number of division between these two values. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So divide by 10. So 4 minus 3 will be 1. 1 by 10 is 0.1 centimeter. So this is how we can find the least count of the scale. Suppose if we want to take these two values, 5 and 3, so difference will be 2. And the number of division between these two will be 20. So again 2 divided by 20 will be 0.1. So anyway you can solve, you will get same answer, only 0.1 centimeter. Now what I am going to do is, we are going to introduce one more division in between. Now what will happen? Now if you measure the least count of this scale, this measuring instrument, then you will have 4 minus 3. Let us say for this new instrument, 4 minus 3 divided by, now there are 20 division. So 4 minus 3 divided by 20. So that is 1 by 20. So that will be equal to 0.05 centimeter. So this instrument will be more accurate compared to the scale, because scale can give us only up to 0.1 centimeter, and by using this instrument, new instrument which we made, we will get answer up to 0.05 centimeter. Right? So you can see that now what will happen? We will get one more division over here. So this is 4.5. Right? This is 4.5. You can check. This is 4.5. 4.5. Right? This is 4.5. Then the another small red division will be 4.55. Then the green one will be 4.6. Remember, this is 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, and this is 5. So between 4.5 and 4.6 we have one more division. So this division will give us 4.55. Then 4.6, 4.65, 4.7, 4.75, 4.8, and so on. So here we got this as 4.5. This is 4.55, 4.6, 4.65, and if you continue, this is 4.9, and this is 4.95. Right? So by measuring the length of, so if you measure the length of pen by using this newly made instrument, you will get answer up to 4.95 centimeter. Remember, still there is an uncertainty in the measurement of next division. Here remember, we have written, while measuring with the help of scale, we got answer only 4.9 centimeter or 5 you can write. 4.9, and this digit after 9 is unknown to us, that is uncertain to us. Right? But if you make this new instrument, and with the help of this new instrument, if we measure the length of pen, we got 4.95 centimeter. That is, it has a value of 4.95, 0.05 centimeter more accurate compared to 4.9, that is compared to our scale. So this is how. Now suppose if you make another instrument which has more precise value, let us say in that case you can measure one more division after 5. Right? Then what about that next number, next to after 5? Let us say by using scale we got answer 4.9 centimeter. By using another this newly made device we got answer 4.95 centimeter. So you can say that here the next digit was uncertain to us. In the same way 4.95, but here one more digit should come. If we use more precise instrument, then you can get one more digit over here. Let us say if we get some kind of instrument, then you will get 4.58. But what about next digit then? So you can say that each and every instrument will always have an uncertainty in the measurement of any physical quantity. The last digit will always be uncertain, which is unknown to us, right? And that uncertainty is known as error. Now let us discuss this by considering another example. Let us say we want to measure weight of any object. For simplicity, let us say the weight of that object is 10 kg, 128 gram. just for simplicity we are writing a number 10.128 kg. So 10 kg and 128 gram. Now suppose if you are using a weight machine which has a least count of 100 gram only, means which can measure minimum 100 gram, not less than that. Now if you are measuring this weight of this object by using that weight machine, you will get 10 kg 100 gram only. It will not measure 28 gram. It means that there is uncertainty in the measurement of that weight machine, which will be considered as an error. Now let us say if you use another machine which can measure maximum up to 10 gram, right? Then by using that weight machine, the mass of this object will be 10 kg 120 gram only. Right? 120 gram only. So it will also have uncertainty because it cannot measure 8 gram. It can measure up to minimum up to 10 gram only. Let us take another weight machine which can measure up to a 5 gram accuracy, right? So in that case, the weight of this object will be 10 kg 125 gram. Again, there is uncertainty of 3 gram. Right? So if you keep on using another kind of machine, suppose if I will take a machine which has a precise value up to 1 gram, then that machine will show 10 kg 128 gram. But there will be some mass apart from gram in microgram, milligram. You must be knowing that if we want to buy a gold, then the weight machine which they are using has a precise value in microgram. Right? So depending on our requirement, we are using different kind of instrument to get the precise value or the correct value. So now what do you mean by precise value and correct value? Right. So here comes the topic which is known as accuracy and precision. In day-to-day life, generally what we do is we consider accurate value and precise value one and the same only. Right. We are always interchanging accuracy and precision. Right. But this is not correct. There is a difference between accurate value and precise value. So let us understand what is the difference between accurate value and precise value. That is, what is accuracy and precision. Now here, accuracy means how close the measured value is to the true value. Right? The value which we have measured is how close to the original value of the physical quantity is known as accuracy. Now, accuracy in measurement is the measure of how close the measured value is to the true value. Means suppose if you are measuring something, then that measured value and the correct answer, what is the difference between these two? If difference is less, you can say that the answer is more accurate, and if difference is more, you can say that that answer is less accurate. So accuracy means the measured value, how close the measured value is to the true value. How close the measured value of any physical quantity is close to the true value. That is known as accuracy. Now precision is something which is related to resolution of instrument. That is the limit of instrument. Right? Precise value means it depends on the limit of a measuring instrument. So if you consider our previous example in which we have used a scale for measuring the length of this ball pen. Apart from that, we have modified scale and we have used another instrument. Now in that case, the least count of scale was 0.1 centimeter. On the other hand, the least count of that modified instrument was 0.05 centimeter. So you can say that the modified instrument was more precise compared to the scale. Right? So this is known as precision. So both are quite different. Remember, both are different, not same. Generally in day-to-day life, we have a practice of using these two words anywhere, right? But the meaning is totally different. Precision depends on the type of instrument. You can say the limit of instrument, or you can say that the resolution of instrument, or limit of measuring instrument. While accuracy is the difference, or accuracy is the you can say that accuracy is how close the measured value to the given value. That is our accuracy. Right? Now let us consider a simple example. Right? Suppose we have two digital clocks. Now in one clock we can measure time up to minute only. That is in hours and minute. while the another clock can show us time in hours, minute as well as in second. Right? So let us say we have two clocks, clock 1 and let us say this is our clock 2. Now we are observing this, we are measuring time, right, at suppose 10 o'clock, right? We are observing the clock, or we are writing the readings of the clock at 10 a.m. So the first clock will show us time let us say 10:10. The first clock is showing us time 10:10, while the another clock is showing us time, let us say it is running late, so it is showing 08:00:10. That is 8 hours and 10 seconds. Now in these two clocks, you can see that at 10 a.m. we are measuring the time. So this is more correct, right? This is very close to the measured value. So you can say that this is accurate answer. This answer is accurate answer. On the other hand, this is inaccurate answer, but this is most precise answer, because in this we can get measurement up to seconds. So out of these two clocks, this is an accurate clock and this is precise clock. Clear? In the same way, let us say we want to measure the length of an object. If you use scale, then the least count of scale is 0.1 centimeter. But if you use vernier caliper, which you are going to learn in physics practical, right? So if you are using vernier caliper, then in vernier caliper you can measure up to 0.01 centimeter. So if we have a scale, let us say scale can measure up to 0.1 centimeter. This is the least count of scale. On the other hand, the least count of vernier caliper is 0.01 centimeter. So out of these two, if we measure the length of any object, let us say the length of object is 8 centimeter, 8.22 centimeter, right? Now if you measure the length by using scale and you are getting answer 8.2 centimeter, while using vernier caliper we are getting answer, let us say due to some mistake we are getting answer 10.29 centimeter, 10.29 centimeter. So here after decimal we have only one digit. So this is not precise one. Here after decimal we have two digits. So you can say that the reading of this vernier caliper is more precise compared to the reading of the scale. But obviously out of these two, scale gives us accurate answer because it is very close to the true value. Clear? So this is how this is the difference between accuracy and precision. Accurate value and precise value. Now I think you have a clear idea about accuracy and precision. Means you are knowing what is the difference between accurate value and precise value. Right. Now we are going to discuss what is an error. What do you mean by error? As we have said that there is always uncertainty in the measurement of a given physical quantity. The last term, the last number associated with that measurement will be always uncertain, and that uncertainty is known as error. But in normal language, what do you mean by error? You can say that the difference between the measured value and the true value is known as error. The difference between the measured value and the true value is known as error. So what is an error? The difference between the measured value and the true value is known as error. So what is an error? Error is defined as the difference between the true value and the measured value. Suppose we have a pen of length 7 centimeter, right? And if we measure the length of this pen by using a scale, and we will get answer, let us say 6.98 centimeter. So obviously the correct answer is 7 and we are getting 6.98. So difference is 0.02. So that difference will be known as error. That is an error, right? Now this error can be classified into three groups. One is systematic error, the another one is random error, and the third one is least count error. Remember, least count error is associated with systematic as well as random error also. Remember, least count error is associated with systematic error as well as in random error. So you can say that least count error may occur in systematic error also and in random error also. And that's why we are saying that we have only two categories of error. One is systematic error while the other one is random error. But before that, let us discuss what is least count error. What is least count error? So what is least count? Let us first define what is least count. So least count itself means that the name itself indicates that less count, minimum count. So least count is defined as the minimum measurement that an instrument can measure is known as least count, and it is generally represented by LC, least count. So what is least count? The minimum measurement that an instrument can measure accurately is known as least count, right? Now what is least count error? Every instrument will have a limitation in terms of resolution or in terms of minimum measurement. As discussed earlier, again we will discuss the same example. Suppose we want to measure the length of this pen, right? If I will use a scale, ordinary scale, which can give measurement, minimum measurement of 0.1 centimeter only, means a scale having least count of 0.1 centimeter will give me the length of this pen only one digit after decimal. That is, if you are using a scale for measuring the length of the pen, you may get answer 6.9, 7.0, 7.1, something like this, right? But you will not get another digit after this. You will not get two digit after decimal point. This digit will be unknown, and it will introduce error, which is known as least count error. Now instead of scale, if you use vernier caliper, then with the help of vernier caliper you will get answer something like, for this let us say 6.94. But what about the third digit after decimal? This will be unknown, right? So an error will be introduced. So same way, instead of vernier caliper we can use spirometer, or you can say that we can use screw gauge, right? These are the instruments which will help us to find the measurement more accurately. Compared to scale, vernier caliper is more precise. Compared to vernier caliper, you can say that spirometer or screw gauge is more precise because it can give value of 3 digit after decimal point. 0.001, least count of spirometer, or you can say screw gauge is 0.001, while vernier caliper has a least count of 0.01 only, and scale has least count of 0.1 only. Right, so out of these three, you can say that spirometer or screw gauge is more precise. So due to the limitation of measuring instrument, there will be some error. Due to the limitation of measuring instrument, there will be some error introduced in our calculation, which is known as least count error. So in this lecture, we have discussed about the difference between accuracy and precision, and we have discussed what is error and how to find types of error. What is error and types of error? In that only we have discussed least count error. Remember, there are two more different types of error. One is systematic error, while the another one is random error. Systematic error is an error which tends to move only in one direction, right? Say for example, if you want to measure the weight of any person and the weight person is already showing 500 gram extra, then each time you will measure the weight, you will get 500 gram more only, each and every time, right? On the other hand, suppose we are measuring voltage. On the other hand, suppose we want to measure voltage, right? Then we will use voltmeter. Now suppose the pointer of the voltmeter is already showing below zero. Suppose the pointer of the voltmeter is below zero, then whatever reading you will measure, it will be always less than the true value. So this kind of error is known as systematic error. Systematic error is again further classified into three groups, which we are going to discuss in our next lecture. While random error is random, it may increase once and in next time it may decrease. Means the value may vary. The answer whatever you get may be more than the true value or may be less than the true value. It may be one time you will get the answer more than the true value, and the next time you may get answer less than the true value. Then such kind of error will be known as random error. See, in systematic error, remember you will always get either more value only or either less value only. But in random error, chances of more or less both are equal. You may get more value or you may get less value than the true value. So it is known as random error. So these all things, systematic error, its type, and random error, how to find the value of true, how to reduce error, this all things we are going to discuss in our next lecture. Till then, keep on reading, keep on writing, and keep on returning. Remember, I got some messages related to doubt. Now, in one of two questions, the concept is really clear, but you are unaware of the formula. That is, in one of the example, it was force and velocity were given, and you have to find power. Force and velocity were given, and you have to find power in that example. So remember, the formula for power is the scalar product of force and velocity. So you can say that power P, power is equal to F dot V. Right, this will be the formula for finding power. So you can easily use scalar product of force and velocity to find power. So if you still have any doubt, please let me know. Please send me the doubts so that I can solve, and if possible, if doubts are many, we will have one more video lecture related to the solution of that assignment. It depends only on you whether you want a next video for the solution of complete assignment or your doubt only. So let me know that what you want. You want a particular solution, then we will have a particular solution. If it is good by just an image will do, then I will WhatsApp you. And if you want an explanation, then we will have one lecture on assignment of vectors. Till then, take care, keep on reading, keep on preparing. Thank you.